June the 2nd, 2024. Moss Genealogy. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. Hello. Hello, Cheryl. And Eflin. Hers is connected. Girls are connected. Good. Here comes Eflin.
It's on Ancestry.
There you are. Hello, Cheryl.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how you doing? Look at that cute little puppy.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Oh, yeah, just because they're little, we think they're puppies.
Yeah,
But yeah,
he's 3 years old.
Oh, super cute.
Yeah, his name is Lexus.
Lexus?
Yeah, like the car.
Like the car, yeah, it's super cute. Look at him.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
I appreciate you.
I'm here. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate you joining our meeting.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite. I'm sitting here with my my daughter and my granddaughter. And so I told, they're asking me questions. I was like, I don't know. They're asking me, how are you related? I'm like, I'm not sure, but we'll probably find that all out today.
We sure will.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check and see. There's Eflin. Eflin, can you hear me? She's
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, cuz, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
Fine. It's good. It's good that you're participating in the meeting.
How you, Cheryl?
I'm great. I'm great. How things going for you?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So where are you? We're located.
Missouri.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm in Texas, but I'm from East St. Louis.
No, are you?
Mm-hmm. So what part of Missouri are you in?
About 45 miles from Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. Okay, yeah.
East.
Yeah.
Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay.
What part of Texas are you in, girl?
I'm in Rockwall, Texas, which is about 25, 30 miles east of Dallas. And I've only lived here for about 4 years. This is my 4th year. I came here for a job, but all my life I lived in East St. Louis, Illinois. Yeah.
There's my girl right there, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
How you guys doing?
We're doing
Great.
fine. Thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
We were just having some pleasantries and some introductions.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just finishing, well, not finishing, but I've come a long way on Pro Tools, on Ancestry. I have no duplicates anymore.
Well, that's good.
I can't say that, Diane.
Well, hold on 1 second. I'm trying to put a different topic. Come on now.
This is really a blessing.
Trying to get a good new background.
You fancy?
Now that was my sorority background, so I'm trying to get some church lady wig background.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. What? Yeah, there it is.
How you do the background? Diane, how you do the background?
How do I get the background? Oh, down there where it says video, you see mic on the left, and then video is next. You click on video and go to virtual background, and then you But if you do not have a virtual background yet, what you have to do is save whatever pictures you want to use for background, put them all in one place.
Okay.
So then you go through virtual background and then select something from your
Photo.
folder. Yeah. If at some point you want me to show you how to do it, I can.
Okay.
You gotta go, Alexis. I'm taking care of business. Out of here. Come on. Come back, ladies.
So Jerry, where are you located?
San Diego, California.
Oh, cool. I've been there once.
That's great.
Back in 1990. That's how long ago it's been.
And we have a new member, Erling Terrell. Can you hear us? Irene, Erling, can you hear us? But she
She's
lives
on
in,
mute.
yeah, her
Needs to
microphone.
unmute.
She lives in LA, Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Erlene, unmute. Go over to microphone over at the far left at the bottom and take it off mute.
So my Cheryl's on mute too.
Yeah, I took it. I put it on mute so you wouldn't hear me crunching as I was eating. But yeah, I'm good.
Pretty soon there's gonna be so much clatter, we're gonna have to mute you. So here we are. Let's go with what we have, and as people join in, I will we'll greet them, and we'll keep this meeting going. We have a couple of new members, and I appreciate it if you would give us a brief introduction of the name, where you're from, and who are you researching, and what is your purpose for being on Ancestry. I'll start with you, Cheryl.
Okay. Well, my name is Cheryl Sterling, born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois. I'm not sure, because, when you get on Ancestry, you get different branches of your DNA and family and ancestry. So I don't know if you're on my biological dad's side or my mom's side. So I guess that's kind of why, my daughter and I are interested in trying to figure out who our people are. And but on my mother's side, we have history in Jackson, Tennessee, and Canton, Arkansas. And on my biological father's side is like Mississippi. I can't think of exactly where because I'm just getting some information on him. So, but I don't know why I feel like we're related on my biological dad's side, but I'm not 100% sure. Lampley's, which his last name is Lampley. So my mother's side is Banks, which is my grandmother's maiden name, and my grandfather's last name was Sterling. So I actually carry my grandfather's last name because my mom wasn't married when she had me. So she gave all her kids her maiden name, which was her dad's name. So that's about it, I guess. So I live in Texas now. I live in Rockwall, like I said, Rockwall, Texas, which is about 25, 30 miles east of Dallas. But just the Dallas Metroplex area. Been here for about 4 years. Moved here for work, and I work in healthcare IT. That's about it. I have 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, and one granddaughter, and that's me.
Thank you for that.
Well,
If you're interested,
well.
when and have time, I can show you how to organize your matches to figure out who's paternal and who's maternal.
Yeah. Well, I know who those people are. I just don't know how we're all related. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know many people on my biological dad's side. Just a handful. But my mom's side of the family, I'm pretty familiar with. My mom's mother's side of the family, I know a little bit about my grandfather's side of the family. So yeah, but
Do you know any of the relatives on your father's side, or nobody?
Oh, I know some of them. Hmm.
Oh, okay. Because if you start working on your tree, you'll get leads to help you fill out with who the people are.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember, Cheryl, do you remember when I reached out to you, which side of the family that I said that we were related on?
I honestly,
Go into the app.
I don't. I can. Let me go into the app and see if I can see.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We'll follow up on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not now. We don't. That's fine. Uh, uh, Erling, Terrell, are you available audio to introduce yourself, or are you just gonna pretty much check us out? Can you unmute yourself? Well, I can. When she does, she's here, but she's a great researcher of the family, and I've reached out to her because she has some of my family members. Sometimes they have family members in their tree, and then you reach out to them and find a common ground, and they help me, reconstruct my tree. And she's a very experienced researcher. She lives in Los Angeles area, and this is her first time attending the meeting. So uh, I want to welcome you, and when you are available to uh, any kind of words, any kind of questions, once you get your audio, uh, when you feel like speaking with us, and your video, go right ahead. Okay, that's Erling. What about accountability council? How are you? Can you hear me? There she comes. Yes, yes, accountability.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm gonna change this name. Greetings. I was literally on the other line, but I appreciate being here. Hold on. Tuesday. And I a kit that you sent to me. I didn't receive it yet, and I'm kind of bummed out from that. But I wanted to thank you for starting the process and going over our genealogy. I'm sorry, I just came in, so I'm gonna put myself on mute for a second. Listen in. Okay. All right. Hello. Was there a question that was asked? Because I literally just came
Yeah,
in.
let's follow up on that. Uh, I I met you through California Reparations Task Force,
Yes.
and just recently I sent you a DNA kit, and what you're saying, you haven't received it yet?
No, we haven't received it. We checked with the post office on Thursday, actually, because he should have been there since last Monday. And we haven't received it yet. So I'm kind of bummed out from that. And that's why I wanted to find a way to start the process. Is there I could talk offline, but I did want to know if there was a return receipt or if it was certified mail, stuff like that.
Well, I'll follow up on it. I'll
Yes,
follow up on it. Please be patient. And
yes, sir.
rest assured, rest assured, if if that one doesn't come through, I have another.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So
Much
please
appreciated.
please be patient. And
All right,
I
appreciate
and
it.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and wanting to learn about your family history and reconstruct you know your family. This is what DNA does. It helps you reconstruct your family. So
Yes.
Iris,
Yes.
could you please introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Iris Grant, and I live in Richmond, Texas, right outside of Houston. I have been doing my own family genealogy since 2008. Finally did DNA in 2013, and I've been working since then to connect with other DNA cousins to try to figure out how we're connected. There are maybe a couple of people on this call that I think I share DNA with, and mainly work on matches in North Carolina, Texas, Louisiana, and some in Arkansas. And thanks for having me here, Jerry.
Thanks, Iris. And for some of the new members, new family members, Iris, Diane, Eddie, they help. They're experienced, and they like you just heard Diane offer to help Cheryl with her research. And what we do, we team up with each other and share our tools. And Iris is very experienced in certain areas of this ancestry, and we just pull together as a family and help each other reconstruct their family. So thanks, Iris. And
Thank you.
And Irene, you see, she said that she wasn't able to unmute her audible, so she's still with us though. So we're gonna go with that. Now, Sister Stanley, could you tell us something about yourself, please?
Good afternoon. My name is April. I was notified of this group by my cousin Jonathan Smith. But I like genealogy in my family. I'm not really the historian, but I like to do a lot of research. I'm on both Ancestry and GEDmatch, and I've actually probably managed over 30 Ancestry kits on, well, Ancestry DNA kits on Ancestry. So I'm very much into genealogy. But I believe that my cousin Jonathan is related to you on his mother's side, whereas I'm related to him on his father's side. And my family ancestors, for the most part that I know of, they come from Louisiana, Arkansas, Virginia.
Well, where do you reside?
I live in Napa County, which is in California.
Wine country.
Yeah.
What city?
I'm in American Canyon.
Close to Stockton?
Maybe about an hour away. What would you say, Jonathan?
Yeah, it's about an hour away
Yeah.
from Stockton.
Oh, how close are you to Jonathan?
About 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're on the peninsula. You're on the peninsula.
Well, like the
we're in between San Francisco and Sacramento.
Yeah.
Okay. I grew up in East Palo Alto.
Okay.
Yes.
Does everyone here have a jet match number? Because I would love to run it against other family members of mine.
Yes.
Let me see. I gotta get mine.
Okay.
I don't know. Actually,
I'll
I've
put
never.
it in the chat.
Okay.
Check the chat. We'll put some in there.
Okay. Thank you.
April, did I give you my jet match number?
Yes, I had. Would you say, Jonathan?
No.
I was asking April if I gave her my jet match number.
No, but I could find you through going through other family members that I know of. Yeah,
Okay.
I could get you.
So while you're here, Jonathan, would you please introduce yourself and give us some information about you and your purpose and who you're researching and where you're
Okay,
located at?
My name is Jonathan Smith.
Eddie,
And
Yes.
I'm here.
Yes.
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 All you got?
Yes.
All you got for me is yes.
Ooh. Ooh. Get him, get him, get him. You see, he muted. He got muted.
I didn't want to cut him off. So
Oh, no.
yeah, but my name is Jonathan Smith, and I'm living in Benicia, California. I've been into ancestry for a little while, but I haven't really been into it at any depth. But I'm trying to get into it now to find out where my ancestors originated from. I know they originated from Africa, but when they were sent over on the slave ships, I want to know where they started, and I'm trying to find out the link from the very first ancestor that came over here up to now. So I've been searching diligently to find out, and I've made some progress, but I have some stumbling blocks because I keep getting different ancestors mixed up with other ancestors. So I'm still in the learning process.
How far back do you go? Have you gone so far?
I've gone back to the 1700s.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, but there's a lot of mixing in there.
Do you see the slave owners?
Between the slave owners
information?
and
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find out the slave owners and how many ancestors that I had amongst the slave owners. So it's been quite a challenge.
Thank you, Jonathan. Reggie,
Yes.
I have a question for you. Could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, cuz, and your one of the purpose for being on Ancestry, please?
A little bit about myself. Well, I'm your cousin. That's what I am. I'm a cousin. We found out when you gave me the free test there in San Diego. I'm a Black business owner, 27 years, a Black activist with the reparations. I'm part of CJEC, Coalition for a Just and Equity California. We had some great success a couple weeks ago. We passed 4 of our bills for reparations: 1403, 1331, and the 1050. They are right now about to be on the assembly floor. Before July 3rd, we have a chance to get them passed all the way to Governor Newsom's. It would be the last signature we need. That's about it with me. Just here curious about what more I can learn about, who I am, and more relatives and everything like that. So appreciate you guys. I yield.
Reggie, what part of California do you live in?
I live in Riverside County, which is called the Inland Empire, Right now, I'm coming from LA. I'm in LA right now. I came out here to kick it with my high school partners last night, so I'm about to head back to Riverside County. Yeah.
I met Reggie through the task force, the California task force. When on reparations, they went through different cities throughout California, a 9-member task force, and he attended the one, and Trubay also, Dr. Trubay, one of the task force meetings in San Diego, and that's where I met him. And I asked the question, how many of you have taken the DNA test? And some people raised their hand. I said, how many want to? And they raised their hand. And I actually had a test, and I gave the test to Reggie. And Reggie took he had the test. He graciously allowed me to be his manager. And then after it was all processed, we found out that we have shared matches with cousins. So that's only by the grace of God.
Small world. Small world.
And we're like with each one of you. I hope that we build a relationship. It's going to take time, and we have to work together with each other. And I'm available, and believe me, on this screen there are some of the top genealogists that I know, and they will help you. That's what our purpose is, to help each other. We have different skills, and we help each other. So that's what the format is here. We have like mentors, take different persons. Like Diane, she agreed to talk to Cheryl. Cheryl, you didn't confirm or not if you wanted her to help you. Have you established that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And as I'm looking at pictures, you all's pictures, I am almost sure that we're related on my grandfather's side, because Jonathan, you look just like my brother, and April looks just like his daughter, Zephanie. I'm like, we got to be related on that side of the family. On my mom's my grandmother or grandfather's side, not my biological. I'd be surprised if it's on my biological father's side, because Jonathan I'm gonna find a picture. I'm gonna try to post it in this. He looked just like my brother. I was like,
Wow.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Like I said, it's a small world.
Um,
It really is.
the one thing that we do know is the truth can't be hidden, and we do have DNA, and we use that as a tool to answer that question, Cheryl. We cut the guessing, and we're here because we have a tool that God has given us, that DNA, and then we use it and start working together, and then we can find out exactly what branch. And sometimes we find people who have been adopted and they don't know who their fathers are. And through this group, and I know it's happened with Eddie Henderson. He's done it a couple of times with some of the members who came in and didn't know who their relatives were, and he took the time, who the father was, and he ended up with the member finding out who their natural father was. So there's a wealth of skills, and this group they're very helpful.
My cousins are lovers, and I found quite a few kids. I just found one last week.
How long have you been researching?
Me since 2015.
Oh, 2015. Okay.
Uh-huh. And I'm in the Inland Empire too. I'm in Fontana.
Where are you located?
Fontana.
County. Okay.
Yeah, that's my neighbor. Hey, you my neighbor then.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I'm in, actually, I live in Menifee. Yeah, I'm in Menifee.
Okay.
Yeah, not too far away. Probably 20, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, something like that.
I'm helping a friend with the community choir there at Moreno Valley College.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right next door to me. Yeah, Moreno
Yeah.
Valley. Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah.
I want to extend an invitation to like Dr. Trube and Reggie, who have different associations that they are members of. Could you give us just a brief description of what they are and what the purposes are of those groups? And then from after that, we're going to go into the agenda. But could we start with you, Dr. Trube?
Yes. Hi, Reggie. Double R in the car.
Hey, in the car, actually.
Literally. So grateful, Dr. Moss, we met you, as you mentioned before, at the reparations hearing in San Diego. And from there, you actually was the only African-American person in that sector, so to speak. So it was so wonderful to, see the starting point of where we can trace our genealogy. So I'm based out in Los Angeles. I'm a policy analyst, and we've been following AB 3121 since the beginning. As Reggie just mentioned, CJEC has been leading the charge. Chris Lodson, Senator Bradford, Gavin Newsom, leading the charge for a bill, a study bill for a commission. It ended last year in June 2023. And the final report, a lot of it still doesn't have the complete harms of history, but my ancestors being here, I'm actually Haitian by descent, but my ancestors can trace back from the good ship Desire. So our family name was Desire, Desiree. And so from there, that actually has afterwards in 1804, that really traced back to what was Hispaniola to now Haiti. So it was very personal that, my ancestors who literally built this country, that we have restitution and reparation. So I look forward to seeing the final results, and really teaching our youth and our families to really trace their lineage. So when the Freedmen's Bureau agency, I believe it's probably another couple of weeks that these 3 Senate bills are now going into the assembly floor. And so when it's enacted, we have a good chance to at least have reparations for land, property, and the creation of a Freedmen's Bureau agency. So that is a very necessary step for us to, have accountability and payments and land, these things that we're requesting, that it comes to fruition. So with that being said, again, thank you, Mr. Moss, for Dr. Moss, for this platform. And I look forward to getting to know everyone. I do apologize for earlier. I literally was transitioning with other 2 patients, but I'm grateful to be here and know more about and see maybe if I'm related to anyone here too as well. Proud to the people.
Thank you so much. We will see. Reggie, please.
Okay, what exactly you want me to talk about?
Your platform.
I got different platforms. I also co-host a radio show Monday through Friday. It's based out of Sacramento. Wise Words of One Gun show is his show, and I saw that nobody knew about reparations on there, so it's a good way for me to spread the word, because being with with CJEC, we are the organized and mobilized team. And what he asked us to do is to bring awareness to people on reparations. My cousin Jerry hooked me up with a couple shows to go on. Al Sharpton's show, that's on Monday through Friday, and then that's based out of New York. So it's good that I'm talking to them about reparations. They actually this week they will be starting their first reparations task force meeting in New York, because the governor allowed them to doing exactly what we're doing here. And her name is Jennifer Jones Austin, which is on the task force. She's a member of the task force. She will be on Al Sharpton's show Thursday, so I will have a good opportunity to talk to her about what's going on with this, basically her first week. And two, once again, I'm on another show that Brother Jerry hooked me up with. It's out of Cincinnati. It's called
The Lincoln Ware Show.
Yeah, the Lincoln Ware Show. And that's good for me to get information out there too as well, to give them updates and make them wise about the movement here. And everybody is rooting for us. And Brother Al too. Brother Al is pretty much, he's giving us the upseat. He can't believe we got it this far. Reparations never, ever got this far, you guys. So we have to understand that. We're making it to the assembly floor. It never made it to the Senate floor before. So I thank CJ for allowing me to be a part of this legendary group. And any more information you guys need to know, you can go on the website, CJEC official.org. And once again, CJEC, Coalition for a Just and Equitable California official.org. And it will give you all the bills on there. It'll give you guys the grassroots and tell you about the grassroots of CJEC, which started this AB 3121. And we're going to finish with these bills getting passed through legislation. I yield.
Does anyone have any questions for True or Reggie? Go ahead, Eflin.
Oh, I don't have nothing.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
We just had another a person join. Ed, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Could you please introduce yourself and tell us your purpose for studying your history?
I'll be
and where you live at?
So I'm Edward Clark Jr. I'm from the Chicagoland area, born and raised in Chicago, son of Mary Bernice Clark and Edward Clark Sr. Both of them originated in Chula, Mississippi, Yazoo City, Mississippi. I've been following this thread for a while. I had time to join you today. Again, I'm from the Chicagoland area and happy to try to make a connection to how we are associated or related.
Well, thanks for taking the time to, join us.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. I have one more.
Hey, Jerry.
Go ahead.
What's his family line? I mean, I see Clark, but who else? What other surnames do you have, Ed?
Oh, okay. I'm not quite sure if it's on my mother's side of the house or my dad, so I'll give you both sides of the house. Obviously, I'm a Clark, so my father is a Clark. My father's family is from Yazoo City County, Mississippi, going back to the 1800s. And it's a Clark line. I'll try to think of the other names, but Clark is really where I'm entrenched. On my mother's side of the house, she's a Horton. Her father is Frank Horton Sr. from Chula, Mississippi as well. And Horton is the family line. So Horton on my mother's side and Clark on my daddy's side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mississippi, I just don't know which ones.
And we have Susan. Are you available, Susan?
Yes, I'm here.
Could you please introduce yourself and tell us what your purpose is for joining us and where you're from?
I am from Dallas, Texas, born in Paris, Texas. My family names are Gray, Minner, Crittenden, and Kendrick. And I never joined one of your lives before, so I wanted to come and check out and see who was there and just connect with people.
Thank you so much.
Got a question. Susan.
Yes.
You said Gray?
Yes.
Is your family located in East Texas?
Yes.
Marion County, Cass County?
Lamar County. I don't know about the other two counties you mentioned, but most of my family lives in Lamar County right now.
Okay, no, Lamar's down by Beaumont, isn't it?
It's up by Paris, Texas area. Bottom,
Next,
well,
Gary, I mean,
over there by
Eddie.
Detroit, Texas?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My family is from East Texas, Marion County, Cass County, Linden. My family is Gray. My grandmother was a Gray.
Okay.
So
My great grandfather is H.W. Gray.
Okay, we have
SW Gray
H.W.
from Paris, or was he from somewhere else?
This meeting is being recorded.
From somewhere else. But
Okay.
He may be from somewhere close to Paris, but no, he's not originally from Paris. No.
Okay, there's a very huge Gray family group in Marion County, Cass County, and Harrison County. So he
Susan?
might, and that's in Texas. So he might be from one of them.
Susan. Susan,
Yeah.
do you have a
Okay.
do you have a Jet Match number?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just keep this flowing, and the reason why Eddie asked that question, he's reaching out, and he does know different family members. This is what we're telling you: Irish, Eddie, Diane, and then what we do is we'll use our tools, and then we'll find the answer to those questions, Susan.
Oh, okay.
He'll talk to you probably one-on-one, and whoever is the most familiar, and you want some like Sister Stanley, they'll help you. She's managing 30 kids. How many kids do you manage, Diane?
About 32, 31, 32.
How about you, Eddie?
Not that many.
But they do, and that's the message. We help each other.
Right.
I got about 15.
The good thing about managing that many kids is, like, I don't match Jerry, but my cousins match him. And then I match some of the people in his family that I wouldn't know about had I not started working on that branch of the tree. When you get down to the 5th to 8th cousins and stuff, then it's hit and miss. Once you get past like the 4th to 6th cousin.
Right.
And we're going to show you an example in a minute. Not in a minute, but we're going to show you an example about this Jet Match that you hear about.
Okay.
Irish, I want to ask you or
Jerry, this is Eileen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I connected with my telephone.
Well, that's good. Could you tell us about yourself and where you're from and how long you been researching and
Okay, I joined Ancestry in 2005. So I've been researching since then. I hate that I started after, the older folks passed away, because I could have gotten a lot of information from my father and his mother and sisters, like that. But, it is what it is. So Jerry actually contacted me last year, I think. And I guess he was looking at my tree, and we had some of the same people on our tree. And we found out that my cousin and he are related on their father's side. And my cousin, I'm related on my father's side also. But my family connections, I was born in Oklahoma, and we moved to Los Angeles when I was 2. But our family originally started in North Carolina, the Thompson family. This is my father's mother's family. Was in North Carolina, and then they moved to Alabama, then to Oklahoma. And it's quite a few Thompsons are actually here in California, and some in LA County and, adjoining areas. So that's one of my trees. I have 4 different trees going on. But the Thompson line, we're stuck. We just hit a wall at my great-grandfather. We can't find anything other than the 1900s census him. But that's what I'm doing. I have the different trees and going as far back as I can. And luckily, on my mother's side, I've actually been able to identify, I assume, the slave owners of my mother's let me see, that would be her grandfather. And by being on Ancestry, other people have access to your information. And this white lady contacted me and said that she had been to the National Archives and ran across some information and wanted to share it with me, so she did. So it started from there. It was actually the bill of sale of my mother's grandmother from this white slave owner. So that was interesting. And it's so many of them. My mother's family's from Tennessee. And it's just so many Abernathys there. That's their name, but we found the name, but I haven't been able to identify any of those people on DNA. But on my mother's father's side, this other lady contacted me, and she had this story to tell, and it actually is coming true. She's another white lady that contacted me, and she said that she believed that my father's father was actually like a distant uncle of hers. And lo and behold, we have DNA matches with a whole lot of those people, the Holt family. I mean, their whole family there must be 100 of them on Ancestry. And my mother and I and some of my cousins that have done their DNA are also matching with these Holt people. So we're, just about assuming that they're related. But anyway, it just goes on and on.
What part of Tennessee?
Pulaski.
Oh, is that close to Jackson?
Girl, I don't know.
Oh, okay, good. I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on, please.
But I actually Googled Abernathy's the other day, and it was they go back to when they came, like what part of Scotland they came, and it was 2 families that came over initially, and they settled, in that area, and all most of those people had slaves at that time. And that's where they got the Abernathy name, but actually the Abernathy is not their name. It's just my grandmother, great-grandmother. All her kids, she gave the Abernathy name because that was a slave owner that she had that bought her when she was, 12 years old, I believe.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. I know we have some more individuals, and I want to give them the opportunity to say something about themselves. Tanisha, and Gracie, but Taisha, could you introduce yourself and what your purpose is on Ancestry?
Hi, how you doing? I'm new to the group. True Bay just invited
So
me
what are you
in.
gonna wear, babe?
Excuse me. Can you hear
Mr.
me?
Eddie, if you can mute the mic, Mr. Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie, yeah, mute your mic, Eddie, please.
I'm sorry.
No, not you, but Eddie. We were talking about Eddie. Go ahead, Tanisha.
Dr. True Bay invited me. I'm happy that you guys are speaking about this because it's been something on my mind for a while. Just looked in the chat and I see you guys asking for this number. I don't understand that, but I honestly just came and found my ancestry DNA that my brother had did for us before he took his life about 5 years ago. And honestly, I have to design his 40th birthday party, which is going to be next month. This month actually in a few weeks. So it's funny that you did that, and I have to do all this stuff just with him, but probably why he got me on this call. I believe in spirits are still alive. So I'm looking now on Ancestry DNA's website to try to get this number, and I have the box that my brother bought for me when we took this test. And again, I heard the person before was speaking of how they wish they could have got their fathers and so on. I do have my dad's. My dad's got his done also. We just didn't get my grandmother, which she passed this last November, and we was trying to research farther to get more, from her. So I'm just a beginner at this, and I just need to come to these meetings more often, and anyone can help me get started so I can, find out more lineage. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. This is one of the reasons that story is the truth. That could happen to any one of us, and it's important for us to reach out and help each other. It's like I want to give you a big hug.
Shay, thank you.
Since
I'm under the weather. I will show my face. I'm under the weather like so bad. It's but yeah.
What I can promise you is I will be your mentor.
Thank you.
And and anyone else want to help her, because some of my members here, they dedicate time and they communicate with you. It's real flexible, but we want to open up opportunity to anyone here to have some private one-on-one so that you can build your skill level. You can help your family. Right now, you are the family genealogist.
Okay.
Each one of you are. So we share, we know, so you can help reconstruct your family through DNA.
Jerry, I can help her. This is Eileen.
I'm honored. Thank you all. Honestly, for bringing tears to my eyes. Honestly, thank you.
Oh, sis. So you're here.
Please coordinate that. What is the?
You put information in the chat. That's okay.
Are you familiar with how? Are you familiar how to put your information into the chat, Tanisha, into the chat? Tanisha? There it is.
It should be posted now. It should be posted now. Everyone should be able to look at it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Eileen,
Yeah.
Erlene, have you gotten that information?
Let me see. On the phone, I had a computer open.
Just say Tanisha Adams, and it should say my email, and also put the phone number in there also.
Yes, I see it. Yes.
I'm just having a spiritual attack right now. because my father called this morning and he woke me up out of my sleep about 11. And I'm like, Dad, I just want to rest today. I have a meeting. He was like, oh, just take a break, take the stress off. And he was like, I just want to say what's on my mind. I'm like, what's going on? He said, I have to go and do my grandmother's headstone, put a plate on it. So we were looking for, images and found the company I want to go with. And it's just, it's funny how we on this call. I'm like, dang, we need to have it DNA, but but it's okay. Which is a spiritual sign that this call came through. I didn't know what it was for, but clicking in on it is for a reason. So and I believe that the baton has been passed to me since she passed away, since Dr. Troupe came into my life. So it's time.
I'm glad you're here, sis.
We're here for you. That's that's one thing we are. I know you're there for me. You are, or you wouldn't be here. So I'm so thankful for that. Okay, we got there's my cousin from Henderson, Fanny. We're going through some brief introductions before we go to the agenda. Could you tell us who you are?
I'm in the emergency room right now. I'm just gonna listen.
Okay, good.
I'm waiting for them to give me pain medicine. It's been a while, but I am gonna listen. Okay.
That says a lot. Think that you even here participating like that. If you need to you need to check out, please do that.
I'll call you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Excuse me, it's Cheryl. I just wanted to tell you that I posted a picture of my brother and my niece in the chat, and I wanted Jonathan and April to take a look and tell me if you all don't favor those people. You all can look at their pictures and look at those pictures I posted. They favor. We're definitely related some kind of way.
But that's great.
Similarities, yeah.
So I'm going to go to the agenda. One of the things that Diane, who was my mentor, one of my mentors, she, a couple of years ago, she recommended when we had meetings, have an agenda to, bring some interest and things that are current. And that's what I followed up on. You got to listen, listen and act on it. Faith without works is, dead. So I do have an agenda. I want to go over it. But I also want to ask, I want to have, you asked about the JED match. We're going to give you an example of a JED match, how it works. Okay? We're going to give you an example of that. As a matter of fact, who has JED match and you can show Sister Stanley, are you familiar with sharing your screen?
I am, but right now, I can log in, but I don't have the first tier, the additional tier that pays. I do it whenever I'm researching.
Okay.
I don't know what exactly. I feel like somebody who has that tier right now would be a better person to show their screen where they could show all the tools.
I have it.
Oh.
I just want to share the glory. Amen. Hey, there's a lot to go around, I'm telling you. Hey, Gracie, could you please introduce yourself briefly, Gracie, and tell us where you're from, if you would, please.
My name is Gracie.
You're breaking up.
This is breaking up. No, it's breaking up here. Okay, so just wait, Gracie. Stand down and no, stand down, Gracie, and then we're gonna go with. I can tell you, Gracie, she's one of my cousins. She lives in Florida, and she's a dedicated member, and she helps us, with our research, and we help her with hers. So that's where she's at in Florida, and she's really dedicated. She joins our meetings, the majority of the time. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go right into the agenda. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. First thing is here. Can you see the agenda, everyone?
Your email.
Yeah, but that's the agenda. See that?
Oh, okay. Good.
I got the agenda on there.
Okay, yes, you know.
There it is. You all talked about the slaveholders, identified as slaveholders. I think that was you, one of the members here. So
it was me. I wanted to identify some of the possible slaveholders.
Okay. Well, here's what happened with me just within the last month or two. We are identifying possible slaveholders of our Black mulatto ancestors. You know the term mulattoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that means? Who knows the term for that? What is the mulatto?
I think it means mixed.
Means one white
Yes.
and one black. One parent's white,
Yes.
one person is African.
And they used that term, I know, starting in the 1870 census, because that's when the first time that the freed slaves had a last name put on their name. And the freed slave, they had an opportunity, our ancestors, to keep the slaveholder's name or to pick whatever name they wanted. So that's why we focus on DNA. So I'm gonna give you some examples of that. Recently, a nice white lady named Lauren de Moll reached out to me to offer help identify with who she believes are her ancestor slaveholders, Black persons that she has shared DNA with. She matches some of the descendants of Rufus and Rueben Moss. Now, Rueben Moss is my second great grandfather. So I will be sharing additional research and documents on that. And this is the woman. And then also in September, you'll see on one of my members, she was Tommy, here he is. We'll review September 23rd recording. Tommy Lewis matches, he matches us, who is white, and he shared a will document. Somebody just mentioned a bill of sale. Well, he shared a will document with his ancestor, who actually named the names of the slaves and who he gave them to. And so Tommy, he shared the will document. I have that. It was in 1849 from his ancestor, slaveholder, Reverend Thomas Moss, and other information about where they live. We must build relationships with all of our DNA matches. especially our white DNA matches that are willing to share, because they have some of the answers that we're looking for. And I'm not running them down, they're coming to me. Now, I know they match. I do sometimes reach out to them and let them know, and some are in denial, some aren't. But this woman offered to share information, and I'm gonna give you some of that. Tommy told us his ancestors were from Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, and Southwest Arkansas. We discovered that some of my ancestors and current Moss family members have shared DNA with Reverend Thomas Moss's son. His name is Jackson C.C. Moss. So we have a name, we have DNA matches, and we have a woman who is verifying it, and she's giving me the information. And we'll also, I have Dr. Trube and I have Reggie, who have given us some of the update on the California reparations bills that are being reviewed by the California Senate and legislatures. Since our last meeting, a few important reparation bills have been passed. They have been passed. There is now a new California American Freedmen's Agency that will be processing individual claims. That is passed, that is done. So, do you have any questions before I go into some of the information from the slaveholders? Any questions? All right.
Not at the moment.
Okay, well, let me show you. Now I'm going to show you some of the records. Let me get this up. All right. Can you? I know they're small. But let me give you one of these. I'm gonna show you one.
That phone got my neck all messed up.
What phone?
Cell phone.
What about it?
Got a lot of pain in my neck.
How the cell phone will make phone?
My ear
Mute,
down in my neck.
please.
Real pain.
Can you see this letter?
Oh,
Yeah, so we can zoom our screens up so we can see it bigger.
Well,
Awesome.
I made it pretty big. Can you see it here?
No, it's still small on my
A
screen.
lot of documents. Can you
Okay,
click on it?
Can you see it now, Dick?
Yeah, building a solid relationship.
Yes.
Yes.
She reached out to me, and then I reached out to her and gave her some documents. And so what happened is she wanted to get in contact with Tommy. So one of her cousins, the white cousin, and they collaborated, and then they got back with me. Here's what she said. I totally agree that we should do everything we can to open and be real about the past and to embrace all members of our family. I think that a society and nation, this is the only path to a more just and prosperous future. I would be happy to meet with interested relatives and perhaps at a later date include more members of my immediate family who I'm sure would be interested. For now, I'd like a bit more time to digest the new information you have provided, to look again at what I have. I haven't worked on for a few years, and put together before presenting it to the group, maybe in a couple of weeks, early June. In the meantime, yes, I have the will of Thomas Moss. I've been working on identifying the enslaved people he named and where they ended up. Yes, I also have most of the census and slave schedules from before the Civil War, and many censuses from afterwards in Alabama, Arkansas. I think I could send you a summary of the information I have so far in a few days. Then you could tell me what you might have to fill in some of the gaps. I'm also interested in comparing notes with Tommy, if he's willing. Could you send me his email or ask him to connect me? Thanks again for being open to talking and working together. It's like tearing off an old bandage or scab, isn't it? Hard and painful, but hopefully good for us in the end. Take care, Lauren.
That's beautiful.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, here's one of the 18. Can you see this article? Let me make sure I show it.
1870 census.
Oh, you can see it, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is one of my David Heron is one of my ancestors, and they all were in Taylor Township, Columbia County, Arkansas. So I have 3 of my ancestors who were in the same area. So there wasn't a lot of traveling when we first were freed. They stayed close together. So this is the 1870 census, and that's the first time you started getting names. And so here's another one. They talk about a Jerry. Can you believe that? And they have the Moss. He's one of these slaves that were freed, who were in the slaveholders. They were some of the slaveholders. Now they're freed, and they kept the name. And Lauren, she speaks about these names, and so I have them on my tree. And here's my second great grandfather, Rueben Moss, right here. And this is when he was 27, and second great grandmother, City. And this is my great great grandfather, Thomas. He was 11 years old. And Josephine and Alice, and here's her Henry Moss. So in the 1870 census, we had these names, and here's this Rufus Moss. You see him, and his wife was Alabama. When they were enslaved, I have some records of when the slaveholders would have marriages. Their slaves would get married, and they'd go to the ceremony. But here's another group from 1870, and it shows where they're at: Arkansas, Columbia County, Taylor. So I'm gonna put that together for you, and here's where I'm gonna put it together. Lauren, she sent me this. Make sure you can see this. Can you see this document? Nope. Huh? Nope.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay. I will share it. Now can you see it?
Yes.
All right. You know that Ruben Moss that I showed you? Ruben Moss? Look at
Yeah.
this. And I showed you City Roberts. Look at this information that she gave me. Ruben Moss is my second great grandfather, and his wife was City. And he was born in 18 he was born in 1840 43, and he passed 1918. Look, May 19th, 1918, and City passed. City passed in May 28th. Not long after, within a week, those two passed. They both passed, and that was in Los Angeles, and they're both buried in Evergreen Cemetery in East LA. And a couple
Wow.
years ago, I went to visit their graves. But here's the kind of detail that she sent me. You see that? She sent this kind of information. She has their names, and it's and so she says, "Well, here I am. Jerry Moss, DNA match to other Mosses and other whites. City B. So I'm a match. I'm a match to other ones that are in her family. So look at the detail that she gives us. And this Joshua Davis, who matches me, 14 Central Morgans, he matches her, Lauren, 14 Central Morgans. And you got these Atkins. SM matches Lauren, 16 Central Morgan's DNA match with Lauren. SM matches me also. And so I just wanted to show you this. This is one of my cousins, Val. I wanted to show you some of an example of the kind of details that she would give me. And make sure I get this one up, and then I'll pause for some questions. So here's SM. She matches me. She's down in Arkansas. And then here's she matches Lauren. Mike McGee. I had this hat on. This is Minnesota. His name is Mike McGee. He matches me. He's a white guy, white fella. And he didn't believe that he matched me. But here we go, family members. DNA. I had DNA. And he didn't believe me. So the next thing I did, I said, I tell you what, go on GEDmatch and get your GEDmatch kit number and see if you match me in GEDmatch. He matched me in GEDmatch. You know what? That answered the question. And so a year or so ago, I went to Nebraska to visit my hometown. That's where I'm from, Omaha, Nebraska. And Mike came down from Minnesota, him and his daughter, to meet me. And we had a fun time together, had a fish fry, and it was a blessing meeting him. And he gave me this here Minnesota hat because I'm a big Red fan in Nebraska, but this is a token of appreciation of him. And he's having some health challenges now, but I'm wearing that because at first they don't believe. They're surprised. And then when we tell them how we related to them, then some believe, some don't. But DNA doesn't lie. We family. And so we built the relationship. And that's what I'm doing with Lauren. But it's touch and go. But you see, she's sharing a lot of information with me. Do you all see that?
Yeah.
Yes, Jerry. That's great.
That's a lot of information.
So So here's Mike McGee right here. He matches her 9 centimorgans, but he matches me about, Mike McGee, he matches me more. But that's an example. That's an example of someone who's reaching out, a white slaveholders descendant reaching out, and she's really emotional about it. She says some of the statements that she makes, I'll be able to go into more detail at another time. She's really remorseful. And she's so remorseful that she's helping us connect to who were enslaved and who our current relatives are. So I wanted to give you
those emboldened names because I got Mike McGee also. I'm gonna look at all the others.
You got Mike McGee?
Mike McGee, yeah.
Yeah, there he is.
My match.
Well, there he is. Yeah. And he matches on my second great uncle's side, James Monroe. That's his grandfather. And Val, that whole group.
Jerry,
Yes.
I'm not sure if we've had this discussion before, but I was wondering if you did the Y DNA on Family Tree.
Yes.
And what is your haplogroup?
I have it. I have it right here. I can show you.
Okay. I'm just curious to know if any of them have tested their Y DNA to see if you are descended through your father's line from the enslaver family or if it's a different way.
Oh no, it's straight out through this right now. The way again, everyone, it's through right here. Let's just cut through the chase, and I'm gonna share it with you. I'm gonna cut through the chase. I'm gonna show you.
Oh,
show you.
There are a couple of people that had a question on that too, so thank you for going over that. What lineage or what side we're descended those slaves?
Here's what we have here.
No, DNA ancestry people.
Okay, this is the will. This is the will of Thomas Moss in 1849, and this is his will, and this is what he gave to his wife. And then he started talking about the different slaves: Randolph, Edmund, and old Peggy, and little Negro girl Mary, and as much land to cultivate during her life as she needed to support herself on. That's what he gave to his wife. And then he desired sold the proceeds divided equally amongst his kids. The girl Mary, daughter Polly Lewis, to hold separate apart from her husband and her sole use of her natural life at her death to be divided equally amongst the hairs of her body. The Negro woman killed her, and her child Sarah, by me valued at $700. I also, in like manner, give my daughter Rachel during her life and her death to be equally divided amongst her body. Here's the Negro woman Amy and her child Harriet, and Negro boy Andy, also valued by me at $700. I also give and bequeath in the manner my daughter Sarah, her prayers, the Negro girls Margaret and Caroline by me valued at $700 and $750. Now look at this term. I also give Negro boy, look at this, Rufus, valued by me at $650 to enable the said Richard Walkie more food to raise his children, at his death to be equally divided amongst the heirs of this person here. So you saw that name Rufus, didn't you? You
Yeah.
saw that?
Yeah.
That was a Rufus I showed you in the 1870 census. You remember I showed you Rufus Moss? That was him. Let me make sure. People are in. Excuse me. Who is that? That's an example of what she's given me, and now I'm able to fill in some of the my family portrait by their names. So questions, does anybody have any questions for me so far? Because when you asked that one question, I was able to give you more details. Please feel free to ask any questions.
Yes, I have a question. My name is Crystal Rankins. I was invited by Dr. Trubay. I'm not all familiar with this. I did my African ancestry in 2018, so I know that on my mother's side, we're from Nigeria and part of the Fulani and Yoruba tribe. But as far as the ancestry.com to find out the white ancestry I may have or may not have, I'm not privy to that. I've done my genealogy. I started that about a couple of months ago at the Mormon Temple through the ancestry.com and family search. But I don't have any way of finding out outside of just doing my DNA or my sister's, because my parents passed when I was 17 and 18, like back to back. So I have no way of getting their samples or I just know a limited amount of information. I know some maiden names, and I could only get so far. And I haven't even came across the, what is it? Not the list, it's like, I guess the slave list of what the slave owners would have. I only found a few census, but I haven't went back to the 1800s. It's like the early 1900s. This is as far as I went.
Diane, could you respond to her, please?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Would you say it again, please?
I can respond.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, Miss Crystal. My name is April. Do you have any maternal or paternal aunts and uncles who are still living?
No.
Okay. I would say you can probably take an ancestry DNA test, and then maybe if you have some first cousins on each side, because you're going to get some information if you take it, but the more people you test, you can narrow down those lines, as far as if it's from your mom's side or if it's from your dad's side. And I don't know I'm not familiar with the test you took. I don't know if you can upload your raw data into JetMatch with that particular test, because I've never taken it. Maybe somebody else can let you know on that one. But
what test was it?
It was AfricanAncestry.com. Now that's the one.
Those things are so over. Those things are expensive. Those things are a waste of money as far as I'm concerned.
African ancestry, though.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did that in 2018. But then, I was leaning towards the 23andMe, and then I heard that they were selling DNA and all of this stuff. So I just stopped.
They're more into the scientific aspects of it rather than matching. I've taken it with matching. I've taken that with 23andMe, Ancestry, my heritage, and family tree DNA. And by far the most productive has been the Ancestry as far as finding relatives. There are more analytical tools on my heritage and on family tree DNA, more free tools.
Yes, and that's who I've been going to the Mormon Temple to do that in Oakland, since they have the free database, and they're helpful. It's a little strange how helpful they are as you go about it, but nonetheless, they are helping me get through some of the trying to go and dive deep and figure out who's who, and it can get pretty daunting and lengthy. But I know I'm just at the very beginning of it, and there's so much more I need to do. So I'm just trying to figure out what is the best way, the best practice moving forward. I'm not really clear on which source is reputable, and I just don't want, I don't know. I just have my
Cheapest
reservations.
way right now is for you to load it up to Jet Match, because then you won't have to pay anything to load it up there. But if you go to some of the others, you may have to pay, but you can upload your DNA free at MyHeritage and Family Tree DNA. But the problem is you will only be able to upload your DNA. I don't know if you will be able to do much matching. Right now, they're kind of insisting that people pay at some level. I pay $100 a year for MyHeritage.
Crystal?
They're trying to build up.
Yes.
Thank you, Diane. Crystal, we recommend that you take a DNA test. Okay?
Okay.
Ancestry DNA. That's the one that we use, and we'll make some, I'll make some arrangements to help you with that. And,
Okay.
that's one of the bases that we use. And like Diane said, cousin Diane said, it's science. And then from that science, look what I'm able to show you. The folks, they're talking to me. It's based off of science. You know, so that's what we're gonna do. All these hypotheticals, we couldn't do that. We are reconstructing our family through one of the wonders of the world, DNA. Now,
Jerry,
go
Jerry,
ahead.
this is Eileen. I
Go
think
ahead.
she said that at the Mormon place they signed her up with Ancestry.com. Is that
So it's a free resource there at the Mormon Temple. You're able to do family search and use their database, Ancestry.com, for
Well, can
free.
you pull up Ancestry on your computer at home?
Yeah, but
Or
it'll be, I believe it'll be limited, and I don't get the support in navigating the system because I'm not really
Well,
well.
you pay the money and join Ancestry, and with them, they'll identify if your contacts are on the maternal or paternal side. They'll do that for you, and then that'll
If
be
you
the
have
start.
your DNA there, that's the thing. If you test there.
All right, now let me share this with you. Excuse me, Crystal, you are in the right location. You're in the right location for the information because Ancestry, their data comes from this family search. And with the Reparations Task Force, they want to make it simple for people to qualify and find their lineage. And what they do is they use this family search. A family search is a helpful tool. And Ancestry uses family search. That's where they get their database from. So you are in the right direction. What we're saying is it's best to invest in yourself, in your own DNA, and then there won't be no questions about it. And then that just supplements what you find out from them. But they are a great group. I go to them. We all use them, and them folks will help you. So, and that's an example of us having to collaborate. Now,
Brother Jerry, can I add to that, Brother Jerry? That was a good point. You have to understand that the Reparations Task Force says that it has to be lineage-based for anybody to receive anything in California, basically even federal. Key reason why, because when the Japanese had got reparations, it wasn't all Asians. It has to be lineage-based. And two, you have to be able to track back before the 1900s that your family lived in a slave state. Catch. We still know, now we know that California was a slave state. However, if you lived in California before 2020, when did Gavin Newsom, I have to check the actual month, but if you lived here 6 months in California, you will qualify for reparations from California, and I yield.
Thank you, cuz. I'm gonna share my screen. Irish,
Yes, I'm here.
here this
You're
is
going to show
for
your family tree
the-
DNA?
no, I'm showing you this. Do you see
Right.
do you see the hyper?
I do see the haplogroup E, which is an indication to me that you have an African paternal line.
Correct.
Okay. So if your paternal line is African, yet you are matching to this white moss, that means that it is potentially through your mother's line. It's not a direct moss white ancestor through your paternal line.
No, it's through my father's side.
Okay, but what I'm saying is your father's father's father is an African.
Correct. And you
Okay.
was able to see that.
Yes, because it's an E haplogroup, right? It's an E haplogroup.
Yes, but after they got over here, then they mated with the white folks, and that's how it got all mixed up.
It was
But your Y DNA does not change. So if his ancestor was a white moss ancestor through the paternal line, he would have a white haplogroup. And he does not. He has a black one, which means that the connection to the mosses is a different way. It's not through a white male, it's through
a white female.
a potential, well.
Hey, Irish, you're using conjunctions. I'm seeing I'm using DNA.
No,
I'm matching these people and they matching through my dad. Now,
Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you is I'm not using conjunctions. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you are descended from a white slaveholder male through a male line, it would be unbroken and you would have a white paternal haplogroup. Because you have that doesn't mean that you're not related to the white enslaver. It just means it's not through your father's 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 father all the way up. It's a different way. It may be through your father's mother. It could be through your father's mother. Maybe your father's mother has a white ancestor, but it's not your father.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes great sense, because let me tell you, the mystery is, and Lauren mentions it, a lot of people mention it, the ancestor who is unknown is the Black woman who was taken advantage of. That's the one that we can't say it's her. You see, but it does come through her, through this white man.
Right.
See? So that's what we can't say for sure who my ancestor is, who was an enslaved woman. But that's where my empathy goes to, is how my ancestors, my female ancestors, were used and abused, and this white man shows up.
Yeah, there's no question about that. It's just that it wasn't the mother of your father who was, or what I'm trying to say is this. It's just a different way. It's not that male line.
It's not that line. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's a gift, Jerry. That's a gift. Okay.
And you're a gift.
For you to have a paternal African haplogroup is a gift. That's all I'm saying. So there's a way to figure it out. You just have some more work to do on that line.
Well, that's an example, Iris, what Diane said, how investing the money. But I wanted to respond to your question. That's why I showed you that. And the other members, look at do you see the wealth of knowledge and wisdom that we have on this on this platform? For those.
So how did you find out your haplogroup like that?
So you can take.
I paid for it. I paid for it. I took a test. I sent my information. They called. Everything costs, man.
I did the Smith line, cousin Jonathan, so I got you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if I could talk right now. I've had
Go ahead.
I have a couple of comments. First of all, since we're talking about haplogroups, family tree DNA is where you would go. And to get the Y DNA, it has to be the direct male. So for you, cousin Jonathan, like I did Uncle Mickey. And as you know, his father was a Smith, his daddy was a Smith, his daddy was a Smith, his daddy was a Smith, and so on and so forth. And that actually goes back to Europe. But a good clue, if anyone has ever done the Y DNA test, is if you see your matches, if they all kind of have the same surname, that gives you a clue of what that surname may be, especially when it traces back to Europe. I actually did the Porter line too, which that haplogroup Y DNA test, and the haplogroup traces back to Africa. And I noticed different names, which didn't surprise me because they could have very well taken their enslaver's name. Getting me to my next comment. That's a lot of helpful information, Mr. Jerry, that your white relative gave you. I have found in my experience, they have been very helpful, white relatives. And I've been able to, as you say, get in contact with them and communicate through them through the DNA test and the results of the DNA test. And I do reach out, looking at the matches from Ancestry DNA, and sometimes they have given me a lot of information. When you have those matches, and when your ancestors, when their family members were the enslavers and they match with you, I've had success there. Where I might have not had as much success is when my ancestor or my forebear doesn't really have any white in them, or doesn't show enough white in them. And I have an example. My great-great-grandfather, Prior Porter, who actually fought in the Civil War. I got lucky with him because he fought in the Civil War, and I ordered his pension records from National Archives. And in there, I was able to get all these documents, and one of the documents had his previous enslavers, the multiple names. But if you don't have anything like that, and this brings me to my question, what has been your experience, and anybody else on the Zoom call, when you're not going to have necessarily that DNA connection to certain people who might have more information, like white family members or whatever. Where are you finding the enslaver information? Other than like pension records from National Archives. All of our ancestors didn't fight in the Civil War. So where are you finding the name of your enslaver?
Well, I will say I got very lucky to find several slave narratives from the WPA project that was done in 1936 to 1938. Those were the places where I got the first details about who the enslavers were. And I worked my way back from there. I would say that if you take a chance and maybe just use those according to the counties that your ancestors lived in, if you can look at the slave schedules in particular, if you see them in 1870 and they're living next door to those people, there's a chance that that's who their enslaver was. And I think also maybe looking at the trees of some of the white matches that you have, you may be able to find it that way. I won't say it's easy because it's been a very long time for me to piece this information together.
And
Thank
Reggie?
you. I see someone in that just made a comment. My great-great-grandfather actually changed his name. I don't know what his name was before. He changed his name before he went into the Civil War. His name was Branner, which was the enslaver's name. And then he changed it to Porter. Now he put that in the record in his pension file, but he didn't put why he changed his name from that. So, yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for facilitating this conversation. And anyone feel free to jump in and do that. Irish, I can share some additional information. When our schedule permits. I did want to comment to Reggie. Reggie, when I was doing my DNA research, I didn't care who them folks was, because the folks, the ones that I cared about, who I was matching with this DNA, were people like yourselves. And, you're the ones that I concentrate on. Now, then as I got more experience, got more involved, I said, well, I better do some more research and see what I can find out about this slaveholder. Where did I get this name? Moss. And so that's when I went further in. But I didn't do a whole lot of, because I didn't want to focus on that with the time that I have. I focused on keeping us connected. That's where I get my joy. Now, it's falling in my lap. You see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But you are the ones that I'm focusing on. I'm not going down no rabbit hole. I'm focusing on you all. You are the ones that mean so much to me. The challenges that you're going through, the information that you need to have. Those are the ones that I'm focusing on now. Now, I am, as you see, I do have some reference points, and you saw how I communicated with Irish. I did have some verifications through DNA that these people, I got an idea of what branch it's from. And then these records verify. So I haven't seen them, but we got to go by something. And DNA is what I go by. Go ahead. Anyone?
Well, I just wanted to say thank you again for even doing this process. There's so many of us that, don't have complete closure or a starting point. So I really do appreciate you doing this and this line of work.
Well, thank you. I'll be getting with you this week, and we'll get you a test out there.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I think the biggest problem that I have in my family is I can trace my back at least 4 generations, and only 2 of my family sides that can I actually trace back to a slave Civil War, post I should say, yes, post Civil War. Most the other sides, I'm having the biggest problem because they were all freed Black people, and I'm having trouble coming across that information.
Well, again, I don't want you to beat yourself up. I want to encourage you. What you have, what you know, God has given you enough. Focus on that. If I really try to focus on, I don't know this, I don't know that. Okay, what happens if I just get all that dang information? Now what? The key is build your relationship with what you have. There's brick walls. They destroyed our families. We're still being reconstructed. We're reconstructing our families this day we still are reconstructing our family. That's what I'm focusing on. So what happened back then, it's history, but I believe I had favor. My family's, they've had favor and it's been passed down, and the truth can't be hid. And now we're able to use this information. And just like this young lady, Crystal, said about using, what's the name, of family search, people are helping. So, hey, I'm for that.
Well,
No.
oh, go ahead,
ahead,
April.
Go ahead.
Really quick, and it is great to use family search. I'll give you an example. I use Ancestry.com, but I also use family search in certain situations. For example, like Louisiana death records on Ancestry, they give, I think, the date of birth, the date of death, and the name of the person who passed away. But that same database in family search shows any names attached to the death certificate. So it might have mom name, dad name, and spouse, but they're pulling from the same database. So, and Miss Susan, you might want to check, I don't know what state your family is from. If you've checked those records in Ancestry, try to check them in family search also, just in case some of the documents might have more information attached to it.
I'll do that. Mostly, I've found family in Arkansas and Texas, of course, and Georgia.
Okay. Texas have good death records that it lists both the parent full name, both parents' full name, whereas California only the mother's maiden name, right? You say Arkansas. Arkansas does also allow for the death records and birth certificates, but it's not like a birth certificate that was issued at birth. It's like a delayed birth certificate. I forget the actual name for it. So I'm not familiar with any research in any Georgia records. So I don't know what records may be helpful for the state of Georgia.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cousin Jonathan.
Well, I've come up against a stone wall. One of my ancestors on my mother's side, he was born in 1835, and I can't find his father or his mother. So I believe that he was a product of being enslaved, and I just can't find. I've come up to a stumbling block, a brick wall. So
Where's the first place you see him?
in Virginia. First place I've seen him, he was born in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is he?
He's
His
a
record. So he was born in Virginia. You saw that through what, census record?
I saw it through the census record. But well, actually I saw it through his son's record. I saw it, him being the father of his son. And
Can I ask his name?
yeah, I can't. And then as I found his father's parents, you just say, unknown.
Hmm.
So, is there a starting point for, finding out, where the enslavement happened, and he was just a product of breeding? His last name is Payne, and there are some white Paynes that keep coming in and out of their relationship. They keep trying to, Ancestry keeps trying to pair me with this white family.
Now, are you matching with people who are white who have pain in the family trees that's coming up, like through lines or anything on Ancestry?
No, no, not through True Line. But you know, the birth dates are similar, so they keep putting the white family within my purview. So I'm not sure if, well, the white family have some pains that are black in there as well.
Well, Jonathan, one thing that you do when you run to a brick wall, find a crack and then start a piece by the crack. But then again, don't run into it over and over. Create your own wall.
Yeah.
Build your own.
Yeah.
Go with what you know. You know,
Yeah.
don't get stuck in the past. When you are a genealogy now, you have more information now that you're going to need to share with your family.
True that.
And one thing that you did, the last time we had a meeting, you didn't have a JMash number, did you?
No, I didn't.
And then you acted in that meeting and you went and got one, didn't you?
Well, you clued me, so.
That's right. And you gave me the JMash number and I shared the results.
Exactly.
See, so that's what this group does. We help each other. And you acted upon it. So that's where we're at, cuz.
Okay.
Just
all
letting
right.
you know, that's where we're at.
Okay.
We're
Thank
connecting to each other.
Right.
So who do we give our JED match? Because I went in and found mine. Who do we give that to?
That match? Who wanted to know him? Sister Stanley, April. April wanted to know him.
I wanted to know him, and it was
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I found mine. I didn't know where we put it on the website on this call, or do we just put it in chat?
Can you share it with us?
You could put it in the chat.
Okay.
I have a question for everyone. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me? I went through the agenda that for this meeting, and I have a question for you. What do you want the next meeting agenda? What do you want to have discussed? What do you want to discuss? Do you want to hear from some of the other presenters who we have here? The next meeting will be, if the Lord wills, it'll be June 16th. So who wants to present and what do you want to present? Pardon me?
You have a meeting Father's Day?
I can't hear you.
Are you gonna have a meeting on Father's Day?
Oh, that's on Father's Day?
Yeah.
Every day's Father's Day and every day's Mother's Day. No, I'm
going to a conference, so I won't be here.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Well, what do we do? What do you want to do, members? You want to skip it to another day, a weekday? When do you want to meet again? If that's Father's Day, that day, what day? Are you going to meet on the Saturday?
Saturday be good.
Okay, the Saturday, June 15th. How's that?
It's good for me.
Okay, I'll send the meeting out the same time.
Okay.
And let me know what do you want for an agenda? Give me some ideas on that.
Well, I was interested in April, how she was explaining things. Excuse me. Maybe we could go more into how, like Jonathan, that we can't find our great grandfather's parents. So maybe she could help us out on that one.
Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
Okay. That's one of the agenda items. What's another one? Anybody? Just make a suggestion. Eileen, anybody else? Anybody else has any ideas of what's another agenda item?
I don't have anything right now.
True Bay?
Okay, well, the next agenda item, I believe is, I guess the process we're starting now. To really have those who want to start the process, the accuracy, because that's a lot of questions with that, like how accurate is Ancestry? And I know it is, but maybe if you could reiterate that for the next agenda for those who are just coming in as well.
And we will.
And I think that's really the starting point.
Yeah, for those who aren't as you know, we'll explain that process, what ancestry is. That'd be one of the items we'll talk about, how accurate it is.
Okay.
All right. Who else has an idea? Just who wants to do that? Does anybody? Eileen, can you do that presentation?
Okay.
All right. So we got two people, two items. Reggie, could you please give? If your schedule permits, could you give us an update on reparations at that time, if your schedule permits?
You know I will.
Okay.
You know exactly. But however, let me add this before we leave. I need everybody to take the pen and paper out and take this website down. This is our website at CJEC. It's www.cjec-official.org. And we do have every Thursday we have a live reading of the Reparation Task Force findings and study, which is great. And you can also go on there and read it yourself if you want to. Right now, we are currently in chapter 34. There's 40 chapters, but this is the greatest history that we came upon, and we found out this should be in our curriculum in all the schools here in the United States, because we don't have our African-American history in none of these schools here in the United States. So I wish you guys can just be blessed by just going on the site, and you guys can find out more too about these bills one by one. We can tell you, another bill that did pass too, Assembly Bill 389. This bill is powerful for California because it brings out the apology. This is the apology bill, and once the apology is given, they got to pay. But the plaque will be put up in the Capitol in here in Sacramento, which is great, because just like the Tuskegee experiment that they did with the syphilis, who gave later, Clinton finally apologized, and then checks was put out. So once we get this apology, you can bet your bottom dollar that SB 1331, if you can read that one, that is for the money from California, the money from the feds, federal money, and money from other people, and it will be handed out with the American Freeman Agency Bureau. American Agency, American Freeman's Affairs Agency. So you guys too, please go to the website www.cjec- which is the dash, the minus sign, official.org, and be blessed, and put your phone number in there, because once you put it in there, you will get an alert. And you need this alert because when we go to the assembly floor, we're going to have pre-written letters that we need signatures from. You guys to sign and send, and you can be from any state, anywhere around the world, and you can send these to the assembly people. That way, we have 80 assembly members. 60 of these assembly members are Democrats who we are focused on. So we're going to be sending letters directly to them before the vote comes when it hits the assembly floor. And I thank you guys.
Reggie,
Yeah.
thank you.
SSD 1331.
SB 1331. That's the funds. 1403 is about the American Freeman Affairs. agency. And then we have 1050. SB 1050 is the eminent domain. Just like the Bruce's Beach incident, we have over 100 properties that they took. And so now it's going to give us the opportunity to get all the property that they stole.
Dr. Trube, would you be able to give us a presentation also at that time? Because I see you're texting, you're giving us additional information too. I appreciate if you gave your perspective also.
Absolutely. And just to add to what Double R was saying, the apology for reparations is HR 194. It was enacted in 2008, and it's already drafted. So it tells you per se exactly the harms that was done from 1619 and 1865. And the reason why this is vital is because we don't need any more studies. When an apology was already enacted from Senator Cohen, that stated exactly the reasons why we should have gotten reparations since 2009. 2008, 2009. So I just put it in the chat. And those are the things really that we're encouraging our public to do is these specific bills, because that's what's going to bring closure in the end. But HR 194, again, covers all that, which is why I just put it in the chat. Take a look at that.
When we have that topic, Dr. Trube, would you go first? And then Reggie, would you please follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let us know what, did I miss it? What time did we schedule it?
2 o'clock on June the 6th, June the 15th on a Saturday.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you.
And I'll get the information out.
Can I ask Dr. Trube a question?
Hey, cousin Jerry.
Thank you.
Just 1 minute, Jonathan. Go ahead, Efren. But talk clear. We can barely hear you.
Okay, Dr. Trube, I live in a small town here in Missouri, so I don't think that we're going to have anybody to orchestrate this. So how do we get on the bandwagon?
Well, people like Dr. Moss, being here on this Zoom meeting, we want to have town halls. So if you can, I'll put my information in the chat. And actually, we'd like to hold public forums like this. That's the only way that things will actually get disseminated, because we have enough evidence in the past, resources for us to bring closure. That's why we really got to focus on a federal level. So I look forward to connecting with you. If that's okay, I can put my information in the chat, and then we can, I can email you some points of action as well directly.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, this is getting off the subject for a moment, but I just wanted to know, did you catch any fish last week?
I sure did.
Any bluegills?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my daddy's favorites, he got a whole bunch too last week.
Yeah, he does.
My dad has a bass boat, a 2021 bass boat, and that man go out at night whenever he can get a chance. Any dry truck.
I went yesterday. Yeah, I got pictures of him and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we've been going. This is
Fish
really
fry.
awesome. Here we are as we're sitting here. It's just like we're sitting at the same table. And that's how I want it to be, conversation, different questions. Tanisha, to hear the voice, Jonathan said something about fishing, you talk about your dad and me.
Oh yeah, because I'm my daddy's only daughter, I'm his only child left. So that's what he do between golfing, that keeps his spirit up. And
yeah,
I mean that's the great sport. I want to get the youth involved with that. I want the youth involved with all these different things. It's just not what they see on TV. All this stuff is a sport. It's happiness and it's teaching things.
Well, make sure you get with me and
I will.
So we can have a private Zoom meeting, and I can go over some of the information. Any one of you,
please.
let me know.
Found out my ancestry DNA. I just looked it up, and I found out the majority of my family came from Nigeria, and I have the whole origin Congo. I just text someone to Truth Bay, so I'm over here excited about this.
Well,
So I can't
speaking of
wait till
that,
the next meeting.
we do actually, sorry, we do have to go. We
Mhm.
have military training right now.
Y'all
So
on the phone
I
right
want to
now.
say,
So I'm in the
yes.
meeting.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Well,
Moss.
thank
Nice
you.
meeting everyone.
Okay.
I appreciate you very much.
Any closing comments? We have our agenda, so we're clear on the agenda, and I'll get that out to everyone. Any closing comments by anyone?
Well, I'd just like to thank everyone for showing up, and thank you, Cousin Jerry, for giving this platform for us to learn more about our DNA and how to do this research. This has been really helpful to see. They listen to all the points of view. So
Thank you.
I'm very grateful.
Thank you, brother. Anyone?
This is Reggie Romaine. I concur with that, brother. Thank you, Mr. Moss. Man, well, Cousin Moss. I appreciate, man, that day you gave me this free test, man. It's like I'm hitting 100 birds with one stone, brother. Appreciate you. All right.
And I third that motion.
Okay. Well, it's all good. It's all God. And if the Lord wills, until we meet next June 15th on a Saturday. Peace.
Peace.
Peace and blessings, all.
I'm trying to get her email, Jerry.
That's fine.
Will this be when you'll share this video, so it'll be on that video?
Yes, it'll be on the message. Hi, Gracie. It's going to be on the on the invitation.
Okay.
That the invitation that I give out.
Really see it too well anyway.
And thank you for straightening, getting that date straight. That Father's Day, and we're going on the 5th. Good. We're going that Saturday, 2:00.
Okay.
Hi, Gracie. You coming out? We can see you now. There she is. Look at Gracie. Somebody else
That
coming
is
in.
a real concern for me, Jerry. It's this little town that I'm living in. How will we be included?
Stay on Eflin and Gracie. We have a new person that just joined in.
He was here, but he never said anything because I wrote his name down.
He might say something now. Brother Akbar? I think I talked to him just yesterday.
Yes, Brother Akbar speak.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself, Mr. Moss?
Fine. Did you listen in on some of the meeting?
Yeah, I caught a lot of the tracks from the genealogy, the whole piece. I got the nuts and bolts of what was being said. And I think it's a noble acceptance of the challenge on our identity and on our genealogy, and getting I think some type of collective solidarity on where we need to go with the information. But certainly it's a noble undertaking for sure. I have one challenge. I had hoped to have gotten back for the room, but I was busy, tied up on a task. I'm taking the approach of all the multiple challenges with the identity crises, and much of what has, I guess, been revealed, and much of what has been researched so far. I've taken a pretty strong hardline position on leaving the whole concept of Africa and accepting the teachings of the scholars over the years. They landed on the Akibo line, and since I've heard that word, and I guess it's been about 20 years or so, I feel like it's a ghost from some form of enslavement. When we use Africa, it's acknowledging Leo and Scipio Africanus, according to Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ivan Ben Sertima, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. James Smalls, Imam Warifadin Muhammad.
Brother, I appreciate your your reference points. You did listen to the meeting, and you had a flavor of what our purposes and our goals are. And
noble, that's excellent and noble, nobility to dig into it. Yes,
and this is the lane. This is the lane that we're in right now, and I appreciate that input, that historical value. Now we're focusing on how we connect. Each of us can connect.
Exactly.
And I appreciate you joining in.
That's why I didn't have a comment. You asked for comments because I hope you find all of the connected, to connect all the dots. Now I am challenging.
No, it's not. We'll never connect them all, but that's our purpose, is to help each other, identify and build relationships.
Absolutely. Now we are working with several reparations groups, in which I saw some reparations folks on there as well. And Dr. Cornell West helped me tremendously. He's from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he's taught at the Harvard, Yale. He's a professor, a very brainy person, a brilliant man, but he's challenged the presidency. And so coming out of the National Reparations Weekend, we decided to support Cornell West presidency because we don't see the current leadership even leaving an ink stain or a grain of sand in the desert for us.
Well, I tell you what, hold it. You got to hold it right there. I appreciate your perspective. Again, we're focusing on DNA, not politics. So look, everyone, we're going to shut it down now. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for my comment.
And all praise and glory goes to God, Jesus Christ. Y'all have a good day. Amen.
Amen, Lord.